My mother was the most remarkable woman I've ever known. I mean, everybody may think that about their mother, but mine, she was a fine art major at SMU, and we've got lots of things that she drew. She was a great, drew and did watercolors when she was a child and growing up, and a few things from her college years. But she kind of took a break. But sometime when I was probably in high school, she started painting in our house a little bit. I guess she had a little more free time. And so we've got some of those paintings, and then she would do, craft paintings and watercolors, and she began to do landscapes, and that's probably what the art she sold the most of, or is probably best remembered, or some of the landscapes in and around Taos.
She started off in New Orleans as a child with lessons down in the French Quarter. Then she got a fine arts degree at SMU with honors, and she started painting as soon as she could, but it was not until we got out here in an art colony.
When I was in college, she just announced to us one day that they were going to move to New Mexico, and she was going to pursue her dream and passion of being an artist. And she and my dad had found this house.
That's the reason we're in Taos. Exactly, because we had been to Taos a lot when we were first married, and she liked the art colony, and I liked the ski basin being located here.
Joan just immersed herself up there. I mean, she knew all about the history of Taos, which is very interesting to a lot of people. Why Taos even became a place. She knew about as much about Taos as anybody that I know that wasn't a native. She also got very involved with the Millicent Rogers Museum, which is a very significant museum in Taos.
At the same time, she started teaching week-long workshops in painting. So that's really how she got started, and then that evolved into architectural design too on all these old adobe places.
Somebody that knows northern New Mexico architecture, like she learned or became her specialty. Joan was from New Orleans, so that's a little different than northern New Mexico. But she had an eye for what it took. They even have kind of a blue-green that they always put around the windows. It's a color that you don't see many places.
Our house in New Mexico's got these fantastic gardens and beautiful walls and gates and outdoor spaces. That was all my mother's creation. None of that stuff was original to the house. The great room in the house, that was all her idea, which is full of her art. The house is beautiful, and then next thing you know, she was doing it for other folks. Then she was doing it on a contract basis, where she was taking old houses and doing additions to them or updates in a beautiful way. She knew how to manage space and light.
She totally redid our home, and she did the ironwork, all of the adobe renovations, the windows. She did the colors. She made it into one of the prettiest homes in northern New Mexico because she had the knowledge of what it took.
When I came back from the main part of that field work I had to do for my master's thesis, I walked into the house and went into the bathroom to take a shower and open the door, and it was just a chalk drawing, a black something drawing, but it was a nude standing on her head on the back wall of the shower, full size. That's the kind of thing she would do.
Joan had a great sense of humor, great sense. And she would, you know, cut out all these articles in the Taos weekly paper and send them to us, and we'd just laugh and laugh and laugh.
My mother never wasted a second of her day. Every day she woke up and went to work on something. Since my mother passed away, the things that I've discovered about her are that, well, for one, she produced a lot more art than I ever realized because she never shared that with us. So there's people, it's owned by people all over the country, and every now and then somebody will call me and say they have one of my mother's paintings just out of the blue. I've got a painting here in the house that she did at the Taos Pueblo. Now, it is interesting in hearing about your parents through the eyes of their contemporaries. So I've got hear a lot of stories about my mom that I didn't hear growing up. All good, of course.